Stress is a word everyone knows and everyone has gone through. Day by day, everyone is faced with stress in their lives. No matter what your gender is, stress is unavoidable. It is important to look at stress levels in each gender. First, we have to look at previous research done on this topic. Karen Rudolph did research looking at anxiety and stress levels in each gender during adolescence. She found that girls felt more of a need for approval from their peers. She found that girls tend to have higher stress levels in most of their lives over boys. Also, Pilar Monta, Julia Stein, Adeline Nachman, and the American Institute of Stress did research that looked at stress levels and coping styles in men and women. They found that women use avoidance when coping with their stress. Women don't deal with their stress so it doesn't go away. Men use a detached coping, and even though they detach themselves, they are still at least dealing with their stress. Brian Schumas, Kimberly Zogmer, Virginia Boyers, Michelle Herzer, Sandra Zukowicz did research that looked at what gender had more stress and what the stress does to them. The research exposed a group of both men and women a video causing stress and measured how their bodies physically changed during it. They found women are more affected negatively when re-exposed to stressors. Also, Cher Chatlin, Qingyuan Hong, Carrie Bugrist, and Raja Shang did research that looked at gender differences in emotional and alcohol craving in response to stress. Women reported a higher risk for anxiety and depression over men. They found that women showed higher levels of stress after exposed to the same types of situations as men. My research question is, how does gender affect stress levels? For my primary research, I created a survey on Google Forms. The survey had 10 open and closed questions. The survey was distributed around Oakland University and through friends. I got 30 responses for my survey. 15 of them were females and 15 of them were males. Here you can see some of the questions that were asked in my survey, such as, what is your gender? What causes you stress? How often is stress on your mind each day? Do you think males or females have more stress in their lives? And so on. The results showed when asked, how stressed do you feel on average? 20% of females said they had high stress, while no males reported high stress. 73% of females said that they had higher than normal stress, but only 27% of males reported that. The last 7% of females said they had normal stress, and 33% of males said they had normal stress. No females said they had lower than normal stress, but 27% of males said that they had little stress, and 13% said they had no stress at all. 53% of males say that stress is on their mind only 0 to 1 hours a day, but 93% of females say that stress is on their mind 2 or more hours a day. 60% of males say that they can always handle their stress, while only 13% of females say they can. Also, 13% of females say that they can never handle their stress. Also, when both genders were asked, what gender do you think has the most stress in their lives? 90% said females had the most stress. When they were asked how often does stress prevent them from participating in their daily lives, 27% of females say that 6 or more hours are lost, but only 13% of males reported. 27% of females say that 4 to 5 hours were lost, while no males reported that. 33% of females say that 2 to 3 hours were lost, and only 27% of males said it was. Only 13% of females said that 1 to 0 hours were lost, while 60% of males reported that only 0 to 1 hours were lost. When looking at the results, 93% of females said that their stress was higher than normal, compared to only 27% of males. This shows that females feel like their lives are more stressful and have more stress in them compared to men. Looking at other results, 54% of females said that stress prevents them from participating in 4 or more hours a week, compared to 13% of male. More females feel that stress affects them for participating in their lives. This means that females cannot go out and enjoy their lives because of the stress. Also, 90% of both genders agreed that females have more stress in their lives. Also, looking at other results, 93% of females say that stress is on their mind 2 or more hours, while only 47% of males. This shows that females think about stress more often, and stress tends to consume their lives. Females are always worried about stress, and it often never leaves their minds. 13% of females say they can always handle stress, while 60% of males say that they can always handle their stress. That is saying that females feel like their lives are out of their hands and out of their control. The results from my primary research was supported by Karen Rudolph's study, Pilar Montes study, Julia Stein and Adeline Nachman study, and the American Institute of Stress study. With all research comes limitations. Some limitations in my research was the sample size with only 30, which is pretty small. The results were all self-reported, which always leaves room for error. Also, based on some of the answers, not everyone took the survey completely serious. Stress is something that will never completely leave anyone's life. It is important to know why everyone gets stressed and how to handle the stress. From my primary research and the studies listed, all support that females have a higher stress level over males. Since stress will never leave our lives, it is good to learn all the information we can.